Hey everyone, Matt here. It's about 6:30 a.m., day 6 of my self-isolation in Canada. I didn't get quite enough sleep last night, but it was certainly reassuring to wake up to the news that the US still has a democracy. I think the Congress did perhaps the bare minimum of what they needed to do after the bedlam yesterday, going back into session, defying the terrorists, the insurrectionists, and affirming the will of the people in the last presidential election. I did not want to feel like I was having a grab the popcorn moment being here in Canada, watching the mayhem unfold yesterday, but it was definitely illustrating watching the CBC, watching CTV, hearing the reporters just abject shock and horror, hearing their field reporters and analysts, those who had been war reporters saying they had never seen anything like this, those who were comparing the US to Latin American dictatorships, some other very unflattering analogies. And there's not much that I can add to what's been said by every pundit, every person on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but I'm pissed. Everyone saw this coming. This was a failed coup attempt incited directly by the current occupant of the White House. And I certainly hope that we don't have to endure 2 more weeks of this. Vice President Pence did his bare minimum as well. And I think perhaps we'll see the 25th Amendment invoked by him and the cabinet to remove this dangerous White House occupant who is a clear and present danger to global security, really. I had an unusual amount of friends checking in on me yesterday when I felt like I should have been the one checking in on them. One of them invoked the great quote from Robin Williams asking how I was doing in the lovely apartment above the exploded meth lab. As I said the other day, Canada and the US, their fates are tied together in many ways. Both countries were born of colonial violence. Each had their own route to the systems that are in place today. The US has a lot of fissures in the facade of the system. Canada's not perfect either. I don't think the US is necessarily suited to be a parliamentary democracy the way Canada is. But we have a lot of work to do. Since November, I've had to reassure a number of family and friends, as myself being a wonk, a political dork, knowing and following really closely the inner machinery, I've had to reassure them that the institutions are robust, that the system will work, that the center will hold. Specifically regarding this period before the inauguration, I called it that January 6th would see chaos probably just in DC and not elsewhere. And we saw chaos just in DC, but on an unimaginable scale, incited directly by the White House occupant who needs to be removed immediately. And I think it's going to be a extremely shameful chapter in the history books reflecting on his enablers, those who didn't see it coming, and especially the culture of policing in the US. The failure of the US Capitol Police to plan for what was very clearly coming, this violent terrorist mob of neo-Nazis attempting to storm the Capitol, and then supplicating them? Are you kidding me? I'm going to be far from the first. Again, there's a million talking heads out there. But clearly, if these were Black Lives Matter protesters, skulls would have been cracked. There would be more than one dead body from live bullets being fired. And the rest would probably be in a military brig already. The U.S. Capitol Police have no problem beating down disability activists in wheelchairs trying to disrupt hearings. Something needs to change. And justice will be served upon these people who don't even have a sense of self-preservation. They wouldn't wear a mask to prevent COVID, and they wouldn't wear a mask to stay anonymous. And these morons will see their day in court. I'm confident of that. I have just enough faith in our institutions to know justice will prevail. It's always darkest before the dawn. We have a lot of work to do. I don't have much else to add, just that it's tough to not hug my loved ones right now, but it's also fascinating to be here in Canada observing this from a bit of a distance. Any questions that you have about what it might be like here for me, or if you're in another country besides the US and you have observations, love to hear them in the comments below. Like this video, share it, subscribe. Look forward to talking to you all soon, hopefully under happier circumstances.